and I wanted to take this opportunity to introduce myself and share a little bit of my story for Paulist InFormation. So I was born in the States. My father is Colombian and my mother's American, and when I was a child we lived in Colombia briefly, and I ended up growing up in Houston, Texas. And I went to a Jesuit high school there. I had a tremendous experience of the Catholic Church all throughout my youth. I was very active in the parish, and I was very blessed to participate in the retreats and the other ministries offered at the Jesuit high school there. And I ended up going to college at the University of Texas at Austin. I studied mechanical engineering and a liberal arts degree called Plan 2 Honors. Throughout high school and college, I felt an attraction to the priesthood. I really admired the priests I knew. I thought they lived very full and rich lives. I was really attracted to the work they did with people at kind of the most critical moments of their lives. The moments when they celebrate the births of newborns and baptize them, bring them into the church, and also the moments where they walk with people as they're on their way to marriage, and the moments where they grieve with people when people pass away, and just help people through all the joys and struggles of life. When I was in college, I really enjoyed engineering. I really enjoyed traveling. I really enjoyed the few internships I did in the engineering field. And when I graduated from college, I ended up taking a job with a major oil and gas company, working in Houston, Texas on offshore capital projects. It was a great 3 years that I worked. I learned a lot about how business works. I learned a lot about just the nature of work in general. I had the privilege of participating in some really exciting projects, and I think those years were a tremendous time of growth for me. Towards the end of the 3 years that I worked, I realized that I still felt this calling to the priesthood, and I felt that I had learned enough about myself through my job working and whatnot, that it was time to take the leap and explore a vocation to the priesthood with the Paulist Fathers. I chose the Paulist Fathers in particular because I came to know them at the University of Texas in their campus ministry, and I maintained in communication with many of the Paulists after I had graduated and after I had worked. In particular, I really loved my years with the campus ministry at UT because of the friendships I made. When I was in high school, I loved the church for the liturgical aspect of it, and for the retreats and for my own prayer life. And it was really in college that I came to appreciate how the church brought me into community and into communion really with such a diverse group of people. And I found it very enriching to learn so much from people whose life stories are very different from my own, and just sharing our gifts and talents. So I appreciated how the Paulist Fathers work a lot with campus ministries and building communities, and I really saw that they live community life very well, and that was a very important factor for me in choosing to begin discerning with the Paulist Fathers in the formation program. It was very difficult. At first it was very difficult when I was thinking about giving up my job, and basically starting from scratch, leaving Houston, moving to the novitiate here in Washington, D.C. But if I'm honest, God really made it easy. I received a tremendous amount of support from my many coworkers, from the leaders at my former employer, and many of them are Catholic. Many of them appreciate what the Catholic Church brings to their own lives and the meaning it gives to their lives. So I received nothing but support and encouragement from many of my former coworkers, and from my family, and from my friends. And it's been a great journey so far. I had a wonderful novitiate year here in Washington, D.C. I had a chance to do some service work with the elderly and with the homeless. I learned a lot about the spirituality of the Paulist Fathers and the dynamic of community life. I spent 2 months at our campus ministry at The Ohio State University in Columbus, seeing up close what it's like to work in a parish, sitting in on all the behind-the-scenes meetings, the planning, and seeing what it's like what the lives of priests are like up close, and also what the dynamic is in the rectory. I just finished my first semester of studies at the Catholic University of America, and I'm about to begin my second semester. I've been taking philosophy and theology classes, and I have several more semesters ahead of me, and the pastoral year ahead of me with my formation. So I hope you've enjoyed listening to a little bit about my story, and I hope you would consider supporting the Paulist Fathers, or if you're discerning a vocation, please get in contact with us. We'd be more than happy to share our own journeys, what it's like, the many fears we may have had going into it, and the many joys we share in community life. So God bless you, and thank you for tuning in to this latest edition of Paulists InFormation.